Dear son, I'm sorry. I expected you to be like me. I want to start with something small. The way you used to fall asleep in the car. Head tilting sideways, mouth slightly open, and loosening around whatever you were holding. A toy car, a piece of bread, sometimes just my thumb. I'd glance at you in the rearview mirror and feel something I didn't quite trust. Something close to gratitude, and underneath it, fear. Because I could already see that you were going to be someone, and I wasn't sure I knew how to handle that. I still don't have the right words for it, but I have this letter, and tonight I'm going to try. This is not a letter of advice. It is a letter of apology, and of love, the kind I took too long to learn how to give. Before you were born, I built a version of you in my mind. I didn't realize I was doing it. That's how it works. Expectations are quiet. They form in the background while you're busy thinking about other things. And by the time you arrived, the blueprint was already finished. I wanted you to walk into rooms with ease. I wanted you to love the books I loved, the music I played too loud, the particular way I thought the world should be arranged. I wanted you to have the confidence I'd spent years pretending to have. And when you didn't, when you were quieter than I expected, or louder, when you chose different friends, different passions, I told myself I was just worried. I dressed it up as concern. But part of it was grief. I was grieving a child I had invented. And I let that grief take up space where my attention should have been. I was missing the actual, real child standing in front of me because I was looking for the one I'd imagined. I got this wrong. I want to say that directly. Not softened, not qualified. I got this wrong. There was a moment. You were maybe 9 or 10. You had been working on something for weeks. A project that was entirely yours. Strange and intricate. Not something I would have thought to make. And when you showed me, I smiled. But the smile had a ceiling. I said, "That's interesting," when I should have said, "How did you come up with this?" You noticed. And after that, you showed me less for a while. That moment still lives in me. I suspect it always will. Here is something I couldn't admit then. I was afraid of you. Not of you exactly, but of what I saw in you. You were a mirror. And in you I could see all the parts of myself I hadn't dealt with yet. The uncertainty I'd buried under structure. The softness I'd taught myself to call weakness. The roads I hadn't taken. When you were tentative, I pushed. When you were bold, I worried. I was never quite at ease with who you were becoming, because I was never quite at ease with who I had become. We teach our children the things we haven't yet learned ourselves. That isn't an excuse. It's just an honest account of how the damage travels. Now that you're navigating your own life, your career, your relationships, questions about identity, I think you're finding something similar. That the most persistent voice of doubt inside you sometimes sounds familiar. I'm sorry if that voice is mine. I'm sorry if there are moments when you're trying to make a decision about work, about love, about who you want to be, and somewhere underneath, you hear me asking if you're sure. If you really thought this through. I put that voice there. I didn't intend to, but I did. And I want to spend whatever time I have left helping you hear something different. You were not made to be my redemption. Say that again slowly. You were not made to carry my unlived life. You were not made to succeed where I failed, or to be proof that I did something right, or to make my choices look justified in hindsight. There is a particular weight some parents pass to their children without knowing it. We call it guidance. But sometimes it is something else. It is our own unfinished business, handed to someone too young to know they're holding it. I did some version of this, not in dramatic ways, in small accumulations, in the slight tension when you chose differently, in the particular shape of certain silences. Children pick up on those things, not always consciously, but somewhere in the body it registers. So I want to say clearly, your life was never supposed to prove anything. Not about me. Not about our family. Not about anyone else's choices. Your life belongs to you. It always did. If you are carrying weight that isn't yours, if some part of you still makes decisions with one eye on my reaction, put it down. Please, son, put it down. You are not responsible for my happiness. You never were. That was always my work to do. And the fact that I didn't always do it, that I sometimes let it spill into the space between us, is something I take full responsibility for. Now that you're really in it, the full weight of adult life, I imagine some days are heavier than you expected. The career that doesn't feel the way you thought it would. The relationships that ask more than you knew you had. That gap between who you imagined you'd be by now and who you actually are, standing in your kitchen at midnight, wondering if you're doing any of this right. I want to say something about that gap. It is not evidence of failure. It is evidence that you are paying attention, that you haven't made peace with a life that doesn't fit. I spent years pretending that gap didn't exist. I built a version of myself that was competent and certain. It cost a tremendous amount of energy, and it kept me at arm's length from the people I loved, including you, because real closeness requires honesty about what's actually going on inside. And I didn't know how to do that without feeling like I was losing ground. Your restlessness is not a flaw. Your uncertainty is not weakness. The fact that you're still figuring it out at 25, at 35, at 40 is the most human thing about you. And if you are a parent yourself now, know this. Your child does not need your perfection. They need your presence. They need to see you fail and get back up. To be loved in a way that doesn't require them to earn it first. You already know more about that kind of love than you may realize, because you knew early what it felt like to need more of it. That knowledge, that understanding, is something worth passing on differently than it came to you. One day, and I hope it is far from now, one day you may need to take care of me. There is something strange about sitting with that thought. The child who needed everything, becoming the one who gives. The parent learning, finally, to receive. I hope I do better at that than I did at the rest. I hope I can say, I need help, without turning it into your burden. I hope by then we have had the conversations that matter. That you have heard me say, out loud, more than once, that you were enough, exactly as you were. So let me say it now, while there is still time to choose it freely. You do not owe me a life that looks like mine. You do not owe me a success I can explain to other people. You owe me nothing, and I love you without conditions, not because love should be without conditions, but because you, specifically, have earned nothing less. Take up the space you've been afraid to take up. The space in a room. The space in a conversation. The room inside your own life where you have made yourself smaller than you are. Because someone, somewhere, taught you that your size was inconvenient. It wasn't. I was just working with a limited version of myself. Make mistakes that belong to you. Mistakes made in the direction of your own life, not shaped by fear of how they'd look to anyone else. That kind of risk, the one that comes from genuine desire, is not recklessness. It's how people find out who they actually are. Love people without disappearing into them. Keep the thread back to yourself, not out of selfishness, out of honesty. The clearer you are about who you are, the more genuinely you can be there for someone else. And rest, actually rest, not recovery time scheduled between commitments. I mean the kind where you stop proving something, where you are allowed to exist without justifying it. You are allowed to exist without justifying it. Forgive me, not for my sake, for yours. Forgiveness isn't about excusing anyone. It's about putting down a weight you've been carrying in your own body for too long. I don't want to be that weight. I want, even through my failures, to have left you somehow more free. And know this, even on the days when everything else feels uncertain. I see you, the real you, not the version that holds it together for everyone else. The one that is scared and brave and tired and still trying. That one, I see you. And I am grateful every single day that you are mine. You are not what I expected. You are more than I knew how to expect. You came in and rearranged something fundamental in me. You taught me, slowly, sometimes painfully, that love is not a project, that children are not clay, that the greatest thing a parent can offer is not direction. It's permission. Permission to be whoever you actually turn out to be. I am still learning that. I will probably be learning it until the end. But you have always known it, somewhere deep. You were born with it. I'm sorry it took me so long to stop getting in the way of it. With all my heart,